Alright, so I had to stop the last video at 18. Bell was about to ring. It's about to give secondary to test. I'm just going to pretend for the time being that I haven't graded any of that. So the last video should have had all this. I had written down vertex form. I drew a nice little pretty picture because pictures matter. And my vertex is at, putting by 1 foot, 56, 12 feet from the middle. It's kind of hard to read, but that's 1256. So that's my H, that's my K. Here is an X and a Y that I can plug in. So Y is 2. I don't know what A is. I know that X is 0. I know that H is 12. And I know that K is 56. So I'm going to subtract 56 from 2. That's negative 54. That equals A times 12 squared is 144. And I'm going to divide by 144. Obviously, I'm going to simplify that. Those are both even. So that's like negative 27 over 72. Still divisible by 3, I think. I feel like it is. Negative 9 over 24. Still divisible by 3 again. Negative 3 over 8. That should be right. Double check myself. I'm a little tired. It may not have occurred to you that you can do this, but you can type a number in. Hit enter. Yeah, that's negative 3/8. Hit answer math, answer frac. There you go. Negative 3/8. All right, so my equation is y equals negative 3/8, x minus 12, again that's coming from up here, quantity squared plus 56. Part 2, convert it to standard form. I've already done like 3 of these today, maybe 4. You got your negative 3/8, you write x minus 12 twice. You don't do something silly like say x squared minus 144 plus 56. You don't try to put these pieces together. You do the double distributive property. All right. Save a little paper. I'm going to kind of skip ahead. Negative 3/8, x squared, take away 12x, take away 12 more, minus 24x, and then plus 144, because negative 12 times negative 12 is 144. Then you still got the plus 56 out here. You can't drop the parentheses yet because you haven't distributed this guy in. So that's got to be distributed in. So y equals negative 3/8 of x to the second minus plus 9x This would make minus 54. If you do negative 3/8, multiply it by 144, you should get minus 54. And now that the parentheses are dropped, I can add the 56 plus 56. 2. And I've mentioned this a couple times in my videos, the y-intercept. Part 3, determine where the roll of TP hits the ground, and you probably need to use a quadratic formula. So here's my equation. I'm hitting the ground when the y value is 0. So 0 is negative 3/8 x to the second plus 9x plus 2. This guy will not factor. We haven't actually had the formal lesson on the quadratic formula yet, but it's a 9th grade math skill. QF, quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And again, this is an Algebra 1 standard. It is not an Algebra 2 standard. It is an Algebra 1 standard. So don't sit here and be like, I don't know, man, this is too rough for me. If you got to me, you passed Algebra 1 somehow. So, whatever. A is negative 3/8. B is 9, and C is 2. Every year I see more and more kids who can't pick out A, B, and C. I'm not sure what kind of drugs you take. But remember that sharing is caring. So if B is 9, opposite B is a negative 9. It's supposed to square it. 9 squared minus 4 times A, which is negative 3/8. times c, which is 2. And it's all sitting pretty over twice a negative 3/8. That's what it looks like. So let's see what's in that radical. 9 squared minus 4 times negative 3/8. This will actually be a whole number. Whoops. Wasn't paying attention to what I was typing. If you're watching at home and you're not pushing buttons, that's part of the problem. You're just watching. That's all you're doing. Of course, you don't know how to do anything. Inside the radical is root 84. Now, I know there's no square root of 84. I know that doesn't exist. What's this going to clean up to be? Negative 3/4? Don't be tempted to cross out some symbols. Don't be the kid who does this. Don't do that. Don't cross anything out. All right, let's go ahead and figure out what that root of negative 84 is really close to. It should be a little bit more than 9. It's 9 and a decimal. 9.1652. Over negative 3/4. Heck, we'll make that a decimal, negative 0.75. Some decimals are okay, some are not. All right, let's see what we got. We got a negative 9 plus 9.1652. Oops, negative 9 plus 9.1652. That has to be divided by that negative 3/4. And that's what you get. It's an ugly decimal. But this says that the x value is negative 0.2203, which means that they just dropped or threw the roll of toilet paper backwards. This is nonsense. In math, we call it extraneous. You'll see used to talk about that. There's one x value. The other x value happens here, which is negative 9 minus 9.1652. And again, we're dividing that by negative 0.75, 24.22. That makes sense. Feet. That's when you hit the ground. What's another way I could have done this? Quadratic formula is important, but making sure you have the right answer is important too. I could have typed in the fraction, math num n over d, negative 3/8, x squared plus 9x plus 2. Could have also done the vertex form, doesn't matter. I'm going to put that in y1, I'm going to put that in y2. I put this guy in y1, I put this guy in y2, because I've taught the intersect feature. I'm going to do a zoom 6. I see it go up, but I don't see it go down. So I'm going to look to the right about 30 units. There she is. And if you want to see the full picture, you just need to look up. That was a 55-foot tree. Let's look up to 70, adjust Y max. Obviously, you're not going to see the tree, but there's what the full graph looks like. I'm going to do second trace 5 for intersect. I'm going to take my little cursor and I'm going to get it right in the neighborhood of where it hits the ground. Then I'm going to press enter 3 times. Once, twice, thrice. 24.22 foot. And that is your homework for 2.2. So now I'm probably going to get out the homework for 2.3.